Hi, this video is intended for the COM 110 students here at the University of Findlay, and in this video I'll be talking about the 5 different organizational patterns that can be found in our book, The Speaker's Primer, in Chapter 14. So, proper organization of your speech is essential when explaining complex processes to your audience, so you must determine the most effective way to present complicated information to your audience. And when doing this, you want to let your information dictate the kind of pattern that you're going to be using. You don't want to choose a pattern and then make your information fit in it. So the 5 types are chronological, cause effect, problem solution, spatial, and topical. So for the first type, chronological, this type of speech sequences events in order in which they occur in time. So this pattern illustrates the central focus of the speech and is changed by each move forward. So the example that your book gives is a medical treatment plan. The second type of organizational pattern is cause effect. So this type of pattern is a specific form of the chronological organizational pattern. So this pattern discusses one or more causes that result in a specific event. When you do this type of organizational pattern, you must remember that just about everything has more than one reason or one cause. So be careful when you're arguing that something caused something else. And the key element to a good cause and effect speech lies in making connections between the causes and the effects, and you want to make sure it's explicit and obvious for your audience. The example that your book gives for this is a business plan. The third type of organizational pattern is problem solution. So it is important to link between the two, and you want to make it explicit for your audience and also focus on the past, just like in the cause and effect pattern. For this type of speech, you're not proposing a specific solution, but rather you're explaining how a past problem was solved. Doing this makes it informative as opposed to persuasive. Your book gives an example about Martin Luther King Jr. The fourth type of organizational pattern is spatial. So this type of speech explains material to an audience by emphasizing how things are physically related to one another in a defined area or space. So in this speech, you're focusing on location and not time, and the location creates the structures of the points in your speech. Also, you must follow a logical pattern. The example that your book gives is a speech about New Orleans. So if you're going to do this spatially, a good way to do this would be to give your speech on the different regions of the city in New Orleans. The last organizational pattern is topical, or also known as categorical. And this speech looks at the particulars of a topic and finds a theme for the topic in a certain category. So the example that your book gives is a speech about the comedian Stephen Colbert. Would be organized topically by organizing the speech's main points around the categories of his family life, his comedic career, and his social activities. So although these aren't things that are organized chronologically, they're organized topically. When choosing a topic, you want to remember not to be too rigid. When choosing a pattern, you want to remember not to be too rigid. And just in case you forgot, the 5 patterns I talked to you today, organizational patterns I talked to you about today in this video are chronological, cause effect, problem solution, spatial, and topical, and or categorical. Thank you.